Welcome to the end of May Q&A. Throughout this video you might see some stuff that doesn't coincide with videos that are up yet. There will, and some of those videos to address something. Some of those videos might be a little incoherent, like there'll be a section that doesn't seem like it should be there, and that's because I was trying to rearrange stuff to make better episodes, and I got some stuff out of order. But they're still together, so they're good. This is the end of May Q&A, let's get it going. Let's see, I had it here somewhere. Okay. They said 420 comments. How did an IT guy get into bodywork? Blah, 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 blah. And then talking about an option for the fender well, the inside fender tub. That I could have one stamped and then I could just replace the whole thing. Or at least replace the whole section of it. Now, so, it was not really out of necessity, but it kind of was. So here's the story. Let's take a seat. 10 years ago, working on my second 240. I got my second 240, I get the motor in it, which of course the motor was in my first one. So I pick up the SR20, I drop it in, change the fuel tank, fuel lines. You know, I gotta give a shout out to my buddy Aaron. We did it in like 2.5 days. Swapped over literally the entire car. The front half from my first car to my second car, because the front half was kind of boogered. Motor, fuel, drivetrain, everything, front to back, in like 2.5 days. Third day I was out racing it. Smoked a little, but it was perfect. So, it had a good body. The back half was good. My first one, the back half was trash. The quarter panel was smashed in, and much like kind of these, but at the time, I had no clue to fix it, so I wasn't going to. Second one, I decided, I'm going to make it look pretty. There's dents and dings. It's a 90. My first one's an 89, second one's a 90. This one's a 91. Someday I might get into an S14. And I took it to a shop. I was working with a shop at the time doing graphics for them, like all their banners, all their stickers, stuff like that. And I said, hey, what would it take to get this fixed? And we were BSing. And it really wasn't a price problem. Like, they were going to cut me a deal, and they were offering to do exchanges for stickers and all kinds of other stuff, right? But then the painter brought up a good question. He said, you know what? You've done everything on this car. And I said, yeah, a little bit of help from some friends. And he said, yeah, but that's beside the point. Like, this is a car that you went from knowing nothing about cars, literally, never changed oil on a car, to motor swapping a car, to doing the wiring myself, to... And he said, why don't you do it yourself? And then you can tell everybody you did it yourself. And it clicked. I was like, well, I don't know anything. So, and he said, go home. See what you can figure out on your own. You're smart. Okay. So I go home and I still have issues with a lot of the body work. Take it up to the guy. I'm like, hey, what the hell am I doing wrong? And he teaches me a blocking method, you know, a lot better. Because at the time, YouTube was ish. There was some stuff on here. But there was a lot of bad stuff. Like, do it this way and it'll turn out perfect. And it's completely opposite. So, he helped me fine-tune my skills. And when it came to painting, too. I've had a lot of help with painting over the years. A handful of people have helped me. And it's been really nice. But, you know, I painted the car. I took it to him. And he's like, oh, you've got this problem, this problem, this problem, this problem, this problem. This is how you fix it. Okay. Come back to the house, block it all back down, fix all the problems with it, repaint the car, and it's spot on. It looks great. So, I guess it was necessity. Yeah, I guess it was. Bragging rights. Say to this stupid computer nerd that ain't know shit about cars. Just did this. What are y'all doing? As for the wheel tub, like, again, it falls under the same category. I think I can show y'all how to do it in your garage without spending a bunch of money. It won't be perfect. It won't be as nice quality, blah, 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 blah. But it'll work. And now that I got this flux core welder, it's going to weld in perfectly. So, I'm excited about that. Well, not excited. I'm actually not excited at all about doing that. But... well, I guess I am excited to see if I can get the roll in the bend and get the piece where it fits up in there without smashing it across the shop. Kind of excited about that. A great one from Ivan. It's, what do you guys do about the insane humidity in your garage? I'm usually stuck out in my driveway. I actually spent many years just working right out front here. The humidity? We don't do nothing about it. There's nothing we can do without getting some giant dehumidifier maybe. But like right now with the door shut, no wind coming through here, it is muggy. Outside's probably, it's 88 degrees outside. And it is, oh man, especially after last night of paint in here and everything else, like it is, I'm out here sweating and I'm not even doing anything yet. So needless to say, we don't do anything about the humidity. Now, when we go to paint, that's why, like when I paint the inside of the car, I do it at night. I do generally all that at night. And when we go to paint the car, we will actually wall off that section of the door and put fans there and filters here and fans here on the door, and we can create a crosswind in here that's actually pretty strong. And we'll tape up everything obviously to keep any bugs and all kinds of crap out as best we can. It's a garage paint job. It is what it is. But yeah, we don't do anything about the humidity. We're screwed. I'll botch your name. It's E-I-N-E-N. Hey, I'm looking into getting an S14 soon, getting Rocket Bunny rep kit, wondering your opinion on the quality of the kit. Thanks. If you're talking about this kit, I think the quality's really nice. The hood's built well. Everything seems to be pretty built well. Very tiny little issues with the gel coat not meeting up with the glass. And what I mean by that is they, you know, you have the mold, and the mold's shaped like this, and they spray the gel coat and then push in the glass. There's little spots on one of the side skirts where the glass kind of popped back. No big deal, it's fiberglass. Every company's probably going to have that issue, or every company does have that issue. There are some, you can tell differences. It almost looks like this was almost a Rocket Bunny kit that didn't pass inspection, because like the underside of the side skirt, instead of having a perfect straight line on the underside that you'll never see, it's a little cattywampus all the way down it. Both skirts are like that. The spoiler seems to be perfect. The rear pieces, they seem made well. The only issue that I foresee is the front bumper. The front bumper does not match the hood. Now what I mean by that is there's two little pieces where the hood shuts in between. The hood will not fit. I don't think it's with the hood. I did measurements, I drew some lines on the hood in the dust. You know, there's dust on the hood. And it looks like the hood's straight, but the bumper's a little cattywampus. I haven't quite figured out where the bumper is off, because I know the top cap, instead of being like this, is tilted up and in. I do know that. You can eyeball that. But I don't know if there's a tweak somewhere else in the bumper. I think there is. Won't know until we build out the front end of the car, do the tube front end, and actually place the bumper where we want it and start building onto it and seeing where it's off. But would I buy it again? Yeah, of course. I would buy it again because I'm tearing it up. I would buy it again because I'm putting the kit on myself. If you want a shop to put it on, I'd probably buy the real kit. It's gonna probably cost you about the same in the long run, because you pay a shop to do all the work to get the not so good fitting kit to fit, then getting the good kit to just pretty much go on the car. That's not to say that Rocket Bunny doesn't have issues, because they do. I've seen it in person. I saw a Z kit that was pretty far away from where it needed to be. It was rippled, it was rolled. It looked like somebody, I don't know, took a heat gun and twisted the fenders, because they were all kind of tweaked off. All four of the fenders on the Z were tweaked off and did not fit right at all. But it is what it is. It's fiberglass. The quality is never going to be perfect unless you fit it. That's why you got to fit fiberglass kits. Just the way it is. Try to get ABS urethane. That's all I can say. Those things bolt right on. Simple. Glide asks, so if I wire the tweeters and mids to the crossover like that, will they stay at 4 ohm or will they become 2 ohm? Okay, this first part. Does that kit say it's a 4 ohm kit? Then at the crossover it's 4 ohm. Like, it needs 4 ohms, I guess you could say. It needs 4 ohms from an amplifier or whatever. factory system, doesn't matter. It will be a 4 ohm kit. It's not going to change because that's what the factory says it is. Right there. And it says, can I wire input into one channel on the amp? Yes. The crossover is a single input. Okay, yes. The crossover takes that signal, the full range signal, and chops off part of it and sends it to the tweeter and sends the rest of it to the woofer. Okay? So to get that whole signal, you have to take from the amp to that crossover. You don't directly wire the tweeters. You don't directly wire the woofers. If you want to do that, that's a totally different setup. You would take those crossovers, throw them away, and you would need 2 more channels on your amp. So instead of running your 4 sets of speakers, because essentially you have 4 sets of speakers, 2 6x9s, and then the 2 components. That's 4 channels. Okay, so if you wanted to run the tweeters separately, you would throw the crossovers away, put the woofers onto the amp, the 6x9s or whatever onto the amp also, and the tweeters added onto the amp also. Then you could control your frequencies, your outputs, gains, everything, each sections of channels. Like you would have whatever, however the amp happens to be set up, but you would be able to adjust the 6x9s, the 5 1/4 separately, or 5 1/2, I think is which 5 1/4 separately, and the tweeters separately. You can do that perfectly fine. But if you only have 4 channels on your amp, you need to wire the amp into the crossover, or the crossovers into the amp, not the individual speakers. You do the individual speakers, you're not going to sound right, and you can blow stuff up. So leave the crossover there, and be careful and make sure you're not outputting too much power or a dirty signal to the crossover. Bad juju. Stay with a good amp. Don't buy eBay amps. Just saying. If Marina was still working on the car, yes, she has her own episode coming.
Okay, so I've been working on the door panel.
I'm just giving her all the time she needs in the world to learn. You gotta think this is her first really dive into a car at all. Like, she's dibbled, drabbled, or whatever the term is, but not like this. Not anything close to this. Hell, I haven't even come this close before. I've done each individual part separately, but I've never tried to do it all in one car. So, her door, which is the passenger door, that's why it's been off all this time, is over there on a set of sawhorses, whatever you want to call them. And it will remain there till she is done. She doesn't get a whole lot of time to work on it, and there is a lot of mess ups. There's a big learning curve. You got to think, when you first start out, that hill is so straight up. Like, literally, you're digging your claws into the dirt to climb up it. But there becomes a point where you kind of learn the finesse of, say, bodywork, which is what she's learning. You learn kind of the finesse and how it works, and it starts to become easier. And then eventually it'll taper off. It's like welding. Man, I'm still at an incline like that. You know, it's not like this anymore. It's tapered off, but it hasn't become easy yet. Or second, muscle memory. The muscle memory isn't there to really learn and do it smoothly. You know, little bits, I'm getting pretty good at it, but it's not quite there. And that's what you gotta learn, like the interior of this, or doing this panel. It's just time. There's no steep learning curve. I know what products to use, how to use them, where to use them. I know the limits of the products, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I've tested some new products, which I will review, because I'm excited to review them. They're cool. Not sponsored, but still. And it was just one of those things that it's just doing it. Now, imagine if you've never done that before. And I give you the worst panel on this car to do it to. And say, this product, do this with it. This product, do this with it. Give a couple tips, walk away. It's going to be frustrating as shit. And it is. But we want to show that learning curve. That's essentially it for the end of May DIY. No, end of May Q&A. There we go. It's a tongue twister. Threw me off. Now remember the couples therapy giveaway. You just subscribe, comment on one of the couples therapy videos, and you might win a part of the giveaway. As for me, I'm gonna get to cleaning and trying to make some room to work on this stupid car.
Well, folks, it's time to kick it old school, so you can feel cool. Yeah.